Welcome back. Thank you for joining us here on Open BxRx Tuesday. This week, the Whole Health Report, sponsored by Empire Bluecross Blueshield, is back. Today, we are welcoming back Laura Brosen, a registered nurse and clinical quality program director for Empire. And our special guest today is Raven Carter, assistant vice president of operations for Montefiore Medical Center. Thank you both for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So today we're here to talk about the unique partnership that Empire and Montefiore have in serving the Bronx community. Laura, can you tell us a little bit about that partnership and how it benefits the Bronx?
Sure. So at Empire, our mission is to materially and measurably improve the health of all New Yorkers. So for us, that means not just our members, but for members of the community. And working with Montefiore in the Bronx, we're committed to a 3-year partnership to work with them in the Bronx to deliver programs for health screenings and public events to address things that we consider important community conditions, such as asthma, blood pressure screening, cancer screening, and diabetes. And for example, in October, we had an event with Montefiore that was really successful in St. James Park. We had more than 1,000 people in the community come out. And we called it the Fit Fest. We had people exercising. We had people had, interactions with health professionals, got advice on diabetes. There was Zumba, and really engaging in health behaviors to change their perspective on health and to bring, just health and vibrance to the community in the Bronx.
Now, I understand you also held a Thanksgiving event here in the Bronx. Can you tell us more about that?
So I can take a little bit of that. So yes, food insecurity is one of the biggest issues plaguing New York City overall and here in the Bronx. So during Thanksgiving, we wanted to provide some food for the Thanksgiving meal that we all love to eat every year. But we also wanted to provide some healthy alternatives to recipes that are traditionally high in fat, high in calories, and sodium. So we offered free produce along with a couple recipes that were appropriate for the various cultures that are represented in the Bronx. We had a sweet potato recipe that used pineapples as a sweetness rather than high sugar alternatives. We also shared a healthier version of the apple pecan crumble that is also a favorite on a lot of our Thanksgiving menus. All told, we provided 2,500 bags of produce, which is enough food that would feed a minimum of a family of 5. So it was a really successful event for our community.
I also really like that you kind of kept it true to the community and having the foods that they like to eat, because I think it's easier for people to make that change if it's familiar. So I think that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I understand that you also recently held an event to recognize healthcare workers at Montefiore. Can you elaborate on that and explain why you chose to do it for night shift workers?
Sure. We have a lot of events and celebrations and recognitions rather for our staff. But oftentimes they're focused on day shift because let's face it, that's when most of us are awake. That's when businesses are open. That's when our partner organizations probably have more resources. But we're responsible for taking care of patients 24/7. Emergencies don't shut off just because the sun goes down. And we really thought that it was really important and for us to value the work that happens at night while most of us are sleeping. And these are also the staff that sometimes go unnoticed. And we wanted to call attention to the amazing job that they do each and every day to care for our patients. So that's why Empire sponsored an event where night shift workers could take some time out of their busy schedules, enjoy a nice meal, and, just have a little time of rest and relaxation from their normal day. All told, we served about 600 Montefiore healthcare workers across all of our Bronx hospitals. And it was a great turnout and a great respite for our staff.
Yes, now, I'd like to say as a nurse, I was so excited that Empire celebrated these night shift workers. I worked plenty of night shifts myself and so glad to celebrate the COVID workers and all of the Montefiore staff that work so hard. So I thought this was a great event. And I think that the Montefiore staff seemed, really excited by it.
For sure.
No, I like that you mentioned that they were excited because I really wanted to know, like, what was the response from the community and, what was the reaction from night shift workers? Because you mentioned that oftentimes they can be a little ignored or we just think about the people during the day. So, yeah, what was the reaction from night shift workers?
Well, I think in healthcare, the old saying also holds true. The way to someone's heart is through their stomach. So they certainly enjoyed having a bite to eat. And really, I think they just were, they felt special that someone specifically wanted to hold an event just for them. And I think we had a line ready to go probably before the food was even right on the table. So it was very well appreciated by our night shift staff.
Now, what does your partnership have planned for the future, and where can we get more information about these events?
Well, the partnership that we have with Empire Bluecross is one that's dear to our hearts, and we plan on having additional community events and health fairs throughout 2022 in the Bronx. This is our way of showing our commitment to our community and to improving the health outcomes that have really, that we're focused on at Montefiore. And so we want to do more of that work coming in this next coming year. It's only January, the first week or so of January, so we're still in the planning phase, but we certainly plan to bring back some of the events that we held in 2021. We want to do things that focus on healthy living and education, and definitely something around the back to school time to really work with parents and kids in our community.
Now, I also oh, I'm so sorry. You can go.
No, I'm sorry. Raven, that I couldn't agree more. Empire is really committed to this partnership. In addition, we're really focused on health equity, food insecurity, and the things that are really important to the members of the Bronx. We're so appreciative to partner with Montefiore because we know that you have the finger on the pulse there in the Bronx. So working together, we think it's a really great meld of the health plan and Montefiore Medical Center working together to bring that to the community.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more? I know you have so many events. You also had a holiday event. I would really like to learn a little bit more about that. Can you just tell me what went on and why you had that event?
Sure. So that's probably our most recent event, if you will. And, it was a fun time. Everyone enjoys the holidays. We were able to give out books. We got, the kids got to play with Santa and Elf, and really just a time for education and a little bit of fun and holiday cheer in the communities that we serve. We ended up providing actual produce to about 4,000 families in the Bronx. So it was also like a really great community outreach for us.
All right. So can you just tell people where they can learn more information and stay up to date with your organizations?
Sure. So a lot of these events that we do are local in the community. So the best way to learn about where you can find the events is to follow us on social media. And then you can see where the events are happening locally. So please follow us on those social media tags to find out when the events are happening. And we look forward to meeting you in the community.
All right. I want to say thanks to Raven and Laura. I'm so glad that you're both here to promote a healthier Bronx. Laura, we look forward to having you back soon with the whole health report from Empire Bluecross Blueshield.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So that's all for our show today. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kibin Alleyne, wishing you and yours safety and wellness now and always. See you next time.